Saturday, May the 5th, 2001, a very special day in the history of Millwall Football Club. 7 days previously, promotion to the First Division had been achieved with a 1-1 draw at Wrexham. But now was the opportunity to put some silverware on the mantelpiece as the Lions took on Oldham Athletic, knowing that a victory would guarantee them the championship of Division 2. The Millwall lineup showed two changes from the previous week at the racecourse ground, with both Steve Claridge and Paul Eiffel ruled out through injury. Up front alongside Neil Harris, Paul Moody was restored, the partnership that had taken the Lions so close to the pinnacle of success for much of the campaign. In midfield, Lucas Neal came in on the right to replace Eiffel. With strikers in short supply, young Kevin Braniff, who came into the side in the early part of the season, had the honour of taking his place on the bench. In the Oldham Athletics side, Sam Parkin must have had mixed feelings. He of course played his part with 3 goals in 5 starts for the Lions during an earlier loan spell this season, and indeed he made his league debut for Millwall against Oxford United. It's Millwall all in white, kicking us off in the final game of the 2000-2001 season. They are already promoted to Division 1. Can they now put the cherry on the cake and get that championship trophy? Long ball forward already, only cleared as far as Stephen Reid on his die, just delayed too long. Thought he might have had a go. Millwall's Young Player of the Year as voted by the Millwall management. Now here on the ball on this right-hand side. Oldham Athletic briefly, ball up the line from Prenderville, and 2 pinfalls or a submission between Prenderville and David Livermore, and Millwall get the first free kick of the afternoon, which Robbie Ryan will take. Knocks it inside to Livermore. Livermore back to Stuart Nethercott, immediately through to Tony Warner, and just listen to that atmosphere. No one likes us is coming out for 4 sides of the ground, and it does really make a difference with Millwall fans away to our left-hand side as well in that north stand, and a whole cauldron of noise. And the PA announcement still booming out around us. Ball's out of play on the far side. Matt Lawrence will look to take this about a yard inside that Oldham Athletic half. Forward to Moody. Moody lays it off to Lucas Neal. Just tried to dig that through to Neil Harris, but he couldn't find the striker, and keeper Gary Kelly is able to take possession and throws it out to the far side. First time ball forward, intercepted immediately by Livermore. Lucas Neal will leap and rise and challenge for that ball, and he's got a secondary challenge in as well. That clearance from McNiven wasn't the best, but it falls kindly for John Sheridan, and now over on the far side it's a chance for Tony Cars to break away, and this isn't a bad break either, as Nethercott has to get a foot in there and get it back to Tony Warner, who just flicks it up in the air and has to get a big volley away. Stephen Reid's got a man on his back, but Dave Livermore is able to turn it back once more, and Tony Warner rather shanks that one off the outside of his right boot. One of 2 goalkeepers who have been in exemplary form this season. But it's Oldham Athletic on the ball, halfway inside the Millwall half of the field, and the Lions having to funnel back. Good challenge again from Livermore. Cahill takes over. Was that a foul tackle? No, referee allows play to continue. Oldham still have it with Sheridan, and Sheridan was waiting for a free kick, but realises that advantage has been played, and it's back out on the far side with Rickers. Ball flicked inside. There's Sean Dyche challenging for the ball and hooks it clear, and Millwall struggling just at the moment to get it out of their own half, as Lucas Neal's attempted clearance just takes a deflection, and now we will have a free kick as Tim Cahill clatters into Tony Cars, and the free kick will be awarded to Oldham Athletic, and I think there's a booking already for Tim Cahill for that challenge. Tim, I think, made an earlier challenge which was allowed to go because Oldham got the possession, but Tim Cahill, in only the 2nd or 3rd minute of the game, and I consider the clock away to our left-hand side isn't rolling today, So we're having to keep a check using Adrian's watch. It's about 3 or 4 minutes into the game, and Tim Cahill becomes the first man to get his name in referee Tony Bates' notebook. So free kick to be defended for the Lions. Ball played into the edge of the area. Dyche meets that one. Stephen Reid heads it clear, only as far as Cars, nodded down. Back it'll go towards the edge of that penalty area. This time Nethercott challenges and gets a bit of his head tennis around the edge of that area. And Tim Cahill now will take over and clear the ball away. And Harris runs onto this near side of the field, being held up by Prendeville. Needs a bit of support. Harris has got it for Reid on this near side. Now Stephen Reid has got Livermore in the centre. Still Reid on the ball. Comes in onto his right foot. Just overdoes it slightly. Tries to get it squared and Moody. It's cleared away, and really Dave Livermore was the option there. But now there's a break on possibly for Oldham Athletic, and Carlo Corazin. Corazin, though, has been forced to check out and lays it back to Duxbury. Duxbury inside, first-time ball. Sheridan, though, is robbed by Reid, who makes up for his earlier error. Oh, that's not a good ball from Dyche, but Livermore makes it into one and turns it back to Tony Warder. Adrian, a great break there from Millwall, but Stephen Reid slow in spotting that Livermore was completely open in the centre there.
Yes, there was an opportunity there for Reedy just to slide it in for Dave Livermore, who made one of his now familiar runs from deep. Harris in the final third of the field, a little back heel, looks to try and make an opening for himself. Good tackle comes in from Scott McNiven, and then well, Millwall fans appealing for a free kick. I'm not too sure many Millwall players were, but Oldham have the ball back once more, and it's going to be a little bit difficult early on, I think, for Millwall just to calm themselves down after this atmosphere which is surrounding the Den this afternoon, and it might take them just perhaps a little while to get into their stride. There is a swirling wind out there which might just be playing into the favour of Oldham in this first half. As I noticed the way the ball has been flying around, Millwall found it a little bit difficult to get the ball out of their defence, as Matty Lawrence is having to defend deep inside his own half and concedes a throw in the final third. There'll be a throw-in on the far side then to Oldham. That's their left, and it'll be taken by Paul Rickers. The number 31 Cast has come for support, but it's cleared by the Millwall defence. Moody gets a piece of the ball, and Oldham will just knock it about their defence and work the opening. The ball with Scott McNiven. McNiven has Prendeville on this near touchline. Prendeville takes a touch, comes inside, plays it off to Duxbury. He's always impressed me when I've seen him lead Duxbury. Crosses the halfway line, looking to thread the ball through. Sam Parkin picks the ball up. Still Parkin looks to open in. He plays it out to the far touchline. That's picked up by the number 27, Futcher, who's the son of Paul, one of the Futcher twins that used to play for Oldham and Luton and I think Manchester City back in the 70s. And they're a very famous pair of twins, the Futcher twins, and that's the son of one of them. Duxbury gets in the way of the referee, or vice versa. The ball on the edge of the area with Corazin. Still Oldham and knocking it about. Of course, they've got absolutely no pressure on them whatsoever. Ball delivered into the area. Half a challenge comes in from Nethercott on Parkin. Ryan completes the clearance only as far as Sheridan. Sheridan with a little header to Prendeville. Prendeville will look to swing it in towards the edge of the penalty area, headed away by Nethercott. Millwall just not getting hold of the loose ball at the moment, as Oldham look to probe and look to try and work an opening. The ball back with the number 4, who is Garnett. High ball into the area. Up goes Tony Warner, gathers it in and looks to clear first time downfield. And it's a high clearance which is controlled very well by Paul Moody. He plays it out to the right side to player of the year, Matty Lawrence. The supporters player of the year. Plays it inside to Lucas Neal. He tries to thread the ball. Can Cahill get a tackle in? He's beaten to it though by Garnett, and Sheridan will look to bring it away once more. The pitch is scattered with litter in these early stages, and bits of paper that were torn as the teams came out has drifted onto the pitch. A few balloons on the far side as Mark McGee comes to the edge of his technical area for the first time this afternoon, just perhaps getting across to the players. Let's just come on, let's concentrate, let's look to get our foot on the ball and try and pass it, because we haven't seen too much evidence in the first 7 minutes. And you're listening to the Lions promotion party here on 107.3, and hopefully by the time 10 to 5 comes round, we will be saying the champions of Division 2, Dino.
Yes, indeed, and we've got a throw down on this near side, which Robbie Ryan takes, but Millwall again lose possession. Sheridan picks up the ball, and lays it wide out to the left-hand side. There's Cars in the left wing position. Sliding challenge comes in from Lucas Neal, just enough to put the defender off, the big centre-back who plays alongside Sean Garnett there. Now Millwall, that's McNiven by the way. There's the ball into Timmy Cahill, looking for Moody. Moody, ball laid off to Lucas Neal, back to Moody again. Little 1-2 played, and it's out of play on this near side. And it's a throw, which Robbie Ryan will take. Ryan takes the throw, finds Reed. Reed back to Ryan again, and Reed will pick it up. Now Reed cuts inside on his right foot, tries to find Harris. All that shanked away only as far as David Livermore. Millwall can keep the pressure on here. Stephen Reed out to Ryan once more on his right foot, finds Reed. Neat, intricate play here. Reed goes again now on his right foot. Ball bobbles, and well, it just bobbled up at the wrong moment there for Stephen Reed. And it was wide of the target for a goal kick, but that was a little bit better. Millwall, Adrian, have been a bit slow to get going here. Maybe that atmosphere and everything on it has got to them slightly, but they'll have taken a bit more encouragement from that little flurry there.
Yeah, I'm sure that's the reason why, Dino. It's just the occasion, it's the whole day, and perhaps the build-up. And it might take the Lions perhaps 15-20 minutes, but what they need to do then is to have the ball at their feet and pass it around. And there's been evidence in the last perhaps minute or two that they're coming to get that sorted out, as the ball's just rolled back by Matty Lawrence to Tony Warner, and Warner will clear right-footed downfield off the head of the number 7, who is Rickers, picked up by Moody over on the far touchline. Moody plays it forward, offside flag up against Neil Harris, who is working extremely hard and is looking very lively, but he's not really had the service to be able to really do a great deal at the moment. The best opportunities, or the ball has fallen to Stephen Reed in and around the area at the moment, and he's not quite had his shooting boots on, and it's a free kick to Oldham. The goalkeeper for Oldham is Gary Kelly, and he will take the goal kick, right-footed, downfield, looking for Prenderville. He just manages to get the ball ahead of Ryan, but it's headed away by Dyche, and a pass from Livermore onto the chest of Lawrence. Lawrence controls it and brings it down. Then the forward ball is once more given up possession, and the ball will be thumped downfield, and Tony Warner should get that under control. But it's just really, and Mark McGee's telling Stephen Reed to pass on a message once more. Let's just try and, I'm sure the message is, let's just try and keep the ball to feet, keep the movement, and you know, the openings will come. We've done it all season. It's just a case of patience. Let's just get our heads right. Flick on from Moody. Harris plays it off at Stephen Reed. The ball is bouncing up. Of course, the pitch is hard and bobbly now as we come into this time of the year, although we have had a hell of a lot of rain in South London over the last 72 hours or so. Fortunately and thankfully, there's been no rain today, but a bright morning has given way to quite a cloudy and chilly afternoon, we have to say, for the first week of May. Livermore challenges in the midfield there with Cass. Cahill's got a chance to bring Matty Lawrence into a bit of space. Lawrence will help it forward for Lucas Neal. Lawrence will look to peel round him. Neal does a little dummy over the ball, looks to chip it forward. Is that a handball? Harris is first to react, but well, that was a bit of a harsh decision, as the latest score we have from Peterborough is that Peterborough has taken the lead against Rotherham, and it's Mackenzie, the former Crystal Palace striker, who has given Peterborough the lead. So if this score was to remain the same here and the same at London Road, Millwall would be champions. But as we've been saying for the last 12 minutes or so and all week, Millwall want to go out on a path of glory and have a good home victory to finish the season off.
Yes, they don't want to do it by anybody else's efforts or failures. They want to do it all by themselves. And now Matty Lawrence has the ball over on the far side. Does very well to keep it in play, but unfortunately had to stretch. He gets it back again, gives it to Tim Cahill. Cahill down the outside right channel to find Neil Harris. Harris has taken it right to the touchline and whips the ball against the foot there of the number 27, Ben Futcher, and gets the first corner of the afternoon for the Lions. And the roar goes up around the crowd, and there's an idiot on the pitch now. They need to get him off. He is not going to be popular with anybody at all. He's a complete wally, and hopefully they will arrest him and get him out of the ground. And somebody is, you know, a couple of supporters are giving him a good kicking, I have to tell you, or certainly telling him his fortune, because they know that he's the sort of idiot who could get Millwall into some real trouble. And I don't know how important it is for everybody to keep their house right in order here.
Yeah, in a funny sort of way, not laughing. That was nice to see some fans come hold of him and grab hold of him. Yes, he did take a slap, but that shows you the passion of Millwall fans today. They want today to go well, and one idiot, 14 minutes into the game running on the pitch does not do anybody any favours.
Meanwhile, it's a throw on this near side, and there's just a little bit of instruction there for Prendeville from the Oldham Athletic bench, and Garnett will take the throw and throw it back to his full-back, and the number 2, in fact, Scott McNiven, who plays at centre-back, wears 2, but plays as a centre-back now. Millwall trying to put the pressure on. Here's Sean Garnett, vastly experienced. He's been with Oldham since Noah was a lad, I think. Ball up the line, though, and he finds Robbie Ryan, and back it goes to Tony Warner. Warner, rather slipped as he was making his kick there, and Prendeville's onto it and will whip across over to the far side, and too far, and Lucas Neal will pick it up. In fact, he'll just let it roll out of play, and it will be a throw for Millwall. Matt Lawrence, and I'll tell you what, Adrian, in some ways I'm quite glad that fella came on, because he came on and leapt about expecting people to give him a bit of a cheer, and to a man everybody booed and told him what an idiot he was. I don't think anyone else is going to try that. Shot comes in there from the number 6 for Oldham Athletic, Lee Duxbury, in midfield. But I think that has sent out a real message to anybody else who wants to do something stupid, that if they do so, the retribution will come not just from the stewards, not just from the police, but from virtually everybody else in the ground.
Yeah, I mean, that's the point I was trying to make, Dino. And we've got a line. I've never seen so many cameramen here at the New Den. We've got a line of cameramen, and we know that the newspapers, the Sundays, are just looking for a story. A lot of them are here to report on a lovely day for Millwall Football Club, but we do know that there are some here looking to report on a story which would be bad news for us.
Indeed so. Bad news for Millwall at the moment is that Oldham really are perhaps having the better of things. They're in possession again. Little ball from Cars, finds his teammate Rickers over on that near side. Now there's a bit of space opening out on the right-hand side. It's picked up by Prendeville. Prendeville will look to take on Stephen Reid, who will try and skin him, but Reid gets back and gets the challenge in, and it's a throw and no more for Oldham Athletic on this near side. But the majority of the game has been played in the Millwall half in this early stage, and I can only believe it's a nervy start, a little bit like it was at Wrexham last week. And Millwall just need to keep things tight at the moment, and it won't be too long before I think those nerves start to settle and the Lions can start to play their football. It's a throw over on this near side. I'm just waiting to see who's going to take it. It's going to be a long throw, slung in. It is a massively long throw, and the ball will be cleared away. Lee Duxbury it was with that throw. Eventually a secondary clearance from Dave Livermore, but still Oldham have possession. Ball into the edge of the area. Tim Cahill comes across and clears it up the line. Paul Moody picks it up. Remember, Rotherham United are a goal behind, so a draw, if it stays like this, and there's such a long way to go, but if it stays like this, then any sort of result for Millwall will be enough to see them win the championship. Now the Lions, have they got themselves a throw? They have, as Gary Kelly and Scott McNiven get themselves in a bit of a tangle, and it's going to be a Millwall throw right down by the corner flag. We've been playing about 15-17 minutes, I think, on the watch. Remember, we're struggling a little bit. We think we got caught out because the scoreboard, which normally has the time on it, is not operating today, and I think there's a good reason for that. Here's Neil Harris trying to spin past his man, but it's whacked away and out of play for another Millwall throw there by Prendeville. So Ryan will look for it again. I think a goal will settle Millwall down and get their noses in front. I think they'll be on the way. Here's Dave Livermore coming inside and finding Stuart Nethercott supporting the attack. He lets it out to Lucas Neal. Neal in towards the edge of the box, and it's headed away and behind as Tim Cahill was lurking dangerously there. Headed back and over the goal line by Sean Garnett. And Millwall have a second corner. This time will be swung in from this near side of the field by Stephen Reid. Reid has 5 white shirts to aim at inside that penalty area. Here comes the corner, and Dyche seemed to be being held there. The referee surely was quite close to the incident. Dyche is forced to go all the way over on that far side and wins another corner. And the goalkeeper, when that cross from Reed came in, didn't know whether to come or not, decided not to. And to my mind, Sean Dyche was being held back a little bit there. But another corner ensues at Millwall, with David Livermore going over on that far side. Look to see if they can get that breakthrough goal that would really settle everybody here at the Den. And well, you'll tell if it goes in, because the noise will be deafening. Here's Livermore then as he chips it up, and Nethercott challenges for that. Cahill on the volley, ball takes another deflection. That one's not going to go out and behind, it's just whacked clear by Sheridan up towards Parkin. Challenge comes in on him from Matt Lawrence. Millwall win the throw. By Robbie. Oh, I said Millwall win the throw. I think it was a Millwall throw, but the referee, Mr. Bates, says not, and I think he's getting the bird. Adrian.
I think the referee got that right, actually, Dino. I think the linesman missed the last little deflection off the boots of Matty Lawrence. Flick on from Duxbury through the legs of Corazon, and well, Tony Warner having to bring it inside his own area. But I do have to say, I think the swirling wind is causing Millwall problems at the moment. It's not really benefiting them, and people will say, well, they're professional footballers and they should be able to cope with these things, but you don't have wind on the training ground perhaps the same as in a stadium, because you've got 4 built-up sides where a training ground, it's open all the time, and the wind can unsettle players, and I think it's spoiling the game at the moment, the wind. And Oldham have been overhitting their balls as well, but Livermore looking to pick out Paul Moody, and Moody will come across and get him a strong challenge. And has the ball gone out for Millwall throw? Yes, it has. Right, the throw should be taken very, very tightly to the flag, but of course it never is taken from the right position. A quick throw from Lawrence. Neal's got behind, but his cross was a poor one, cleared by Sheridan. And Nethercott is tight against Corazon. Still Corazon shields the ball, but he's being pushed back towards his own goal line, and then has to concede the throw-in. And if things aren't going right with your passing and other things, then you've got to turn into another gear, into another mode, and that's called Harrison mode. Force the opposition into making mistakes, chasing down every loose ball, and that's what Millwall are starting to do at the moment. They're starting to push and harry every Oldham player on the ball and force them into making mistakes. And in the last few moments or so, there has been an odd mistake by Oldham defensively. Lucas Neal goes up with a challenge, and there was a foul on Nethercott by Corazon, and ironic cheers as a bit of sunlight breaks through on half the pitch here at the Den. Robbie Ryan is got the ball over to near touchline to Stephen Reed. Reed comes into the sunlight, sends the ball through to Harris. He's onside. Harris behind the goal line, squares it on. Millwall in front. Millwall by Paul Moody. Great work down the left-hand side by Neil Harris. He squares it inside the penalty area, and there was Moody to come sliding in on 21 minutes to put Millwall in front as Rotherham equalise at London Road through Warren. Millwall take the lead. Paul Moody with the goal. That will be the goal that hopefully will settle the Lions down now as an inquest inside the Oldham defence. But once again, it was Neil Harris's work. He's not just a goal scorer, Dino. He does so well on that forward line.
Yes, he beat the offside trap there and put the ball in. And Paul Moody just comes alive in those circumstances, doesn't he? There was no way that defender was going to get in ahead of him. He just slid in, he threw everything into it and ensured the ball ended up in the back of the net. Now there's a break on for Oldham, and Sean Dyche breaks it up. Dave Livermore brings the ball down and will knock it over into this near corner. And Moody will chase it, and Moody will make life difficult, and Moody will get the block on Garnett. And Garnett has to settle for a throw. Moody is the cheer around the ground. Moody's 12th goal of the season, I believe. And you just can't minimise the effect that he's had and Richard Sadler have had up front this season. It's Neil Harris who gets all the plaudits, 25 league goals, of course, but Millwall have scored a stack, haven't they? That, by my quick reckoning, makes it a total of 85 scored in the league this season, and that is no mean feat. But cheer up Mark McGee starts to ring out without the PA system now, as Rotherham try and make a break, but Stephen Reid collects and then fires it over to Neil Harris on that far side. Harris tries to get the ball down and has to do so under pressure, lays it back to Matt Lawrence. Inside now to Neil, back to Lawrence again, just inside his own half. A bit tight for the Lions there at the moment. And Nethercott will, I think, via Sean Dyche, open it back out to this near side and Robbie Ryan. Ryan puts his left foot on the ball and then lays it back inside of Cahill. He's got two men round him. Back to Sean Dyche it goes now, and forward from him up towards Livermore. Livermore handball there surely, but still breaks Millwall's way for Cahill. Cahill under pressure is brought down and got a real whack there from Sheridan. Millwall have the free kick, and there's a little bit of a hoo-ha going on there. Sheridan, I think, is going to get a word from referee Mr. Bates, as Stephen Reid prepares to take the free kick. Millwall 1, Oldham Athletic 0. You're listening to Lions Live, and thanks once more to Ian Stark and Associates, independent financial advisors, who've been with us and supporting us every step of the way. There's Stephen Reid with the free kick up towards Lucas Neal, who gets a good head down and wins a corner off Butcher. Millwall's fourth, and they really are beginning to turn the screw a little bit now, the Lions. Those early nerves have settled down. That goal was just what was required from Paul Moody, and now can Millwall go on and really get the party going with a swing? Can they get a second goal here? 1-1, remember, at London Road, Peterborough, against Rotherham United. Here's Livermore with a deep corner. That should be the goalkeeper's. It's the goalkeeper's. Good catch there made by Gary Kelly, and he tries to get things moving, but immediately Stephen Reid comes flying in on Sheridan and keeps the ball pressed, and of course that gets the fans going and really behind the Lions now. So the throw up the line, I think, will be taken by Prenderville. Yes, it is, but Reid intercepts. Cahill just can't stretch and get there. Cars picks it up, but he's robbed, and now here's Lucas Neal going through the middle. Can't just quite sort the ball out between his feet, still going, and eventually it's whacked away just as he was about to pull the trigger. Now Sheridan picks it up for Oldham. Sorry, got Rotherham on my mind, of course. They're Millwall's main rivals for that championship trophy. Sliding challenge comes in from Matt Lawrence on Carlo Corazin. Back it goes to goalkeeper Tony Warner. Forward from him to Moody. Moody does well, controls it, leaves it to Neil. Offside, Lucas. Offside ball through, rather finds Neil Harris offside. The ball through finds Neil Harris offside. Play allowed to carry on though, as Prenderville collects it from the goalkeeper. Header away by Matt Lawrence again. Up in the air from Tony Cars. Then he thumps another overhead out towards that far side, and there's a bit of wrestling going on, and this time Matt Lawrence is penalised for holding on there to Carlo Corazin, and it'll be a free kick to Oldham, about halfway inside the Millwall half, over on the left, level with the left edge of the penalty area. And of course the big men from the back will go forward, the likes of Sean Garnett, Scott McNiven there too. There's Butcher. Ooh, there's a shot coming in. As Corazin it was in the end who got a shot on the turn, and it was wide of the target, but quickly taken free kick just as I was looking down at my notes, and suddenly the ball was at the feet of Carlo Corazin, who in the past, Adrian, has been a little bit of a thorn in Millwall's flesh. Remember him in his Plymouth days scoring a couple of goals against us, but getting towards the latter part of his career now.
Yes, of course, and would be a teammate of Mark Burchan, our Cockney Canadian, and Tony Warner with the goal kick clears it down line. That's a much better clearance from Tony Warner. His kicking's been a little bit under the weather so far this afternoon, as it's tidied up by number 21 Barry Prenderville. He lays it back for Ben Fletcher, and inside to McNiven. McNiven will look to go the long ball, looking for Corazin, who's managed to just out-jump Nethercott. Now the ball with Cars. Cars looks to have a drive and completely tops that effort, and it goes wide left of the Millwall goal, and Cars gets the bird from the Millwall fans, I was going to say, who are completely around the game. And perhaps it's at this point it's nice to say a big thank you to Oldham Athletic Football Club, Dino, because they have been very helpful in accommodating Millwall fans and allowing them to take over the North Stand. Millwall, the Oldham fans who are here, some 300 of them, I believe, over on the far side. We haven't really heard them, but they're probably here this afternoon to experience the Millwall party as well. And a big thank you should go out to them for their helpfulness in the situation as well.
Yes, indeed. It's just meant that so many more Millwall fans have been able to get in to see this game, and what a massive game it is. As the throw over on the far side to Oldham Athletic will be taken. I'm just looking, there's a little bit of a delay there. Referee's looking at his watch, but we are going to get the throw taken by Paul Rickers over on that far side of the field. Little dummy there by Sam Parkin. Hasn't really been in the game, Sam, so far today, and perhaps he's taking that advice from Roy Putt seriously. Here's Stephen Reid having to be forced backwards though, back to Robbie Ryan. Ryan, little touch off for Cale. Cale dwells on the ball a little bit, and Ryan, I think, is going to have to go back to Tony Warner. Warner, who, as Adrian said, his kicking's been a little bit off, but that's a better one. It's just got a bit of backspin on it. Moody comes in and makes it good after Stephen Reid's little flick on. Moody goes to ground, and the challenge there of the man with the long throw, Lee Duxbury, and Rice thinks about a quick free kick, but I think he's changed his mind. We've been playing 29 minutes, I think, on the clock here, and Millwall have the lead by a goal to nil. That goal scored by Paul Moody from a Neil Harris cross some 7 or 8 minutes ago. There's Dyche then with the long, high hanging free kick. Moody's being held there, but he gets a shot on the turn and he's wide of the target. But Paul Moody was having his shirt held there by young Ben Fucher, and I've seen referees give penalty kicks for that. But on that occasion, Moody was unable to carry on, and his shot was a little bit tame in the wide of the target. Goal kick taken by Gary Kelly. Header on there by Corazin. Little flick from Parkin, but Stephen Reid helps out and gets it back to Lawrence. Lawrence does well and just gets it to Robbie Ryan, whose right foot, which is normally the standing foot, gets it away. Now Moody through ball to Harris, one-on-one situation here. Harris tries a little dig, and Harris has scored! Neil Harris makes it 2-0, and surely the Lions now are on their way to the championship trophy. That was an absolutely brilliant and exquisite chip from Millwall's top scorer, his 27th goal of the season, and it puts the Lions right in the box seat for that championship of the second division. Adrian, what a fine goal that was.
It was a lovely move, Dino, wasn't it? It involved Paul Moody and Lucas Neal, and Lucas threaded a lovely ball through for Neil Harris. And Dave Livermore was screaming for it on the left-hand side. But, well, Neil Harris has scored some cracking goals this season, and that chip was to perfection. It was exquisite, and really the goalkeeper, Gary Kelly, was grasping at thin air as the ball drops over him into the back of the net. Yet another cracking goal for Neil Harris. Goal 26 of his league season, 27 in all, I believe. And of course, there's a race on today, perhaps, for him to try and catch up Jamie Kiraton and overtake him and try and get the golden boot, excuse me, for the top goal scorer in this division. And well, Neil will be trying all sorts, I'm sure, without, of course, being over greedy in the remaining hour that we've got left here at the Den. But the score of 2-0. Millwall have not been at their best, but still they have the quality in and around of the players to get their noses in 2-0 in ahead, and you can't really put any blame at the Oldham defence. They've been 2 excellent build-ups, 2 quality finishes, even be it that Moody's was a stabbing from no more than about 4 or 5 yards, Dino.
Yes, indeed. Oldham in possession, but being forced back. I wonder what they're thinking now. Perhaps a damage limitation exercise. Here's Matty Lawrence, finds a little 1-2 with skipper Stuart Nethercott, and then Lawrence goes down long, looking for Harris. Harris flicks it outside, and Neil should just keep it in play. Can he get a cross in? Still Lucas Neal on his left foot, but he's robbed of possession. It's Peterborough 1, Rotherham 1. We're just getting a confirmation of the scoreline that we got earlier. and but that won't matter. If Millwall win this game, it doesn't matter what happens at London Road, and I'm sure that the Rotherham fans there will have been downhearted to hear the scoreline coming through from the Den, and of course that will have permeated onto the pitch at Peterborough and may make a difference there. But Millwall have been, to my mind and for my money, the best team in this division throughout the season. Rotherham, you have to give them full credit, and I'm pleased to see them promoted, but Millwall have been the team and deserve the championship trophy, and I'm not just saying that. Here's Robbie Ryan with a late clearance after Paul Moody did awfully well. Back it goes towards Sean Dyche, and it'll now be picked up in the centre circle by Sheridan. Good spin away by Tony Cars. He's got a man outside him, Rickers, on that left-hand side. Rickers faced up by Lucas Neal. And neat build-up play by Oldham, but they're not going anywhere, and Paul Moody slides in and almost gets possession, but in actual fact it falls for Prendeville. Prendeville's cross comes in. Warner came, and well, he came a bit late, got a good punch on it though. Stephen Reid heads it up the line. Timmy Cahill, who's not been particularly in the game at the moment, goes for that one. I think that's off the head of Robbie Ryan and will go out for a corner. Timmy Cahill just not quite looked on the pace today, as he quite as much as he has done for most of the season, but every man jack of this Millwall side have played their part at one time or another. And of course Tim got the vital goal last week and might have even had another one, and he's always popped up throughout the course of the campaign with vitally important strikes from midfield. But now there's some defending to be done, and the corner is a deep one. Up goes well, a header of Parkin back to the edge of the area, went the wrong way, but still thinks he's playing for Millwall. Robbie Ryan comes through, play continues. Cahill tries to get a block in there, shot from some 20-22 yards from Tony Cars, angles across the face of goal. I think young Parkin is down in the box. I know it's not Sam Parkin, but there is an Oldham player down riding in out of agony, and the physio is coming on. Lucas Neal says that whatever happened there was accidental, and we've just got a little bit of breathing space. Let me remind you what's been happening so far. The Premiership issues and maybe one or two to be decided at the bottom of the table, not least of which is Barnet against Torquay. The player off the pitch now, actually, who's having the treatment is Sean Garnett, and Millwall can continue with the goal kick. Tony Warner with it. There's Sean Dyche forward, looking for Harris. Harris is beaten by Futcher, but only as far as Stephen Reid. Now it's back out with Ryan, and Ryan tries to just dink it up the left-hand channel, but can't do so. Sheridan takes control, but then Livermore gets a foot in and finds Neal, and Neal spins it away to Matt Lawrence, and now Lawrence just takes a little bit of time to find Harris. Harris just gets his foot on the ball, but he's got two players around him, and Futcher and then Cars managed to get it away, but that's into no man's land over on that far side, and easily picked up by Stuart Nethercott. Nethercott to Cahill. Cahill long ball, and a chase for Lucas Neal, but he's not going to get there. Futcher able just to head it back to his goalkeeper, and Kelly will run to the edge of his area, take a little bit of time. We've got about 7 or 8 minutes remaining of this first half. Millwall 2-0 up, of course. There's Cahill with another header, only as far as Futcher once more, and it's picked up by Tony Cars. Back to the gangly-looking Futcher. Of course, Paul and Ron were the names of the two Futcher. They started at Luton Town, as I seem to remember, and they did tend to follow each other around a little bit. Paul was the more talented, and I believe played as a centre-back for England. Ron was a striker. There we are, there's the Futcher family history for you, as Oldham Athletic continue in possession. And Sam Parkin collects it, lays it back to the self-named Futcher. And Oldham really not making a lot of progress. The noise around me erupts. Stand up if you love Millwall seems to be the song that we're all hearing at the moment. Oldham Athletic have now finally crossed halfway. Sheridan tries to get Corazin in on that far side, can't do so. Now it's going to find Prendeville instead on this right flank, but he's already up against two. Lays it back to Duxbury. Duxbury wants a bit of support. Square it goes to Sheridan. Sheridan dinks it into the edge of the box. A header comes in from the on-rushing Paul Rickers, but that's comfortable enough, and Tony Warner takes it quite calmly and cleanly out of the air. Lucas Neal on the right-hand side, lays it forward to Harris. Harris controls, lays off to Cahill. Cahill Back to Matt Lawrence again. Lawrence inside to Stuart Nethercott. Nethercott comes forward himself, and there is Livermore. Back to Lawrence again. It's all a little bit pre-season friendly at the moment. And Cahill lays it back to Lawrence again. Millwall, of course, 2 goals to the good. The fans amusing themselves with their stand-up, sit-down songs. And now Cahill gets away from his man and lays it square to Livermore. And Livermore's got Ryan on this near side. And Ryan's got a bit of space. And Harris is moving into the inside left channel. And Harris spins over the ball, but just doesn't quite do enough to fool McNiven, and has to settle for a throw. Throw needs to be taken quickly, and is to Robbie Ryan. Ryan's got Moody over on the far side. Stephen Reid has it in towards Lucas Neal. Little touch, 1-2 tried there by Harris and Neal, and Neal still has it, very tight though. Reid squares it to Cahill. Cahill's got Lawrence over on that far side, and Lawrence has got a bit of space. Now, can Lawrence produce a decent cross? It's not a bad one. Oh, I thought Cahill was going to get there. It's headed away by Fletcher. Only as far as Livermore, who tries one, and that's pushed over the bar. And Livermore was 30 yards out there, and he struck that one beautifully, and Kelly had to just touch it over the crossbar because that was heading for the roof of the net. And Millwall with their 5th corner of the afternoon. They lead by 2 goals to 0, remember. Stephen Reid will take this corner kick. 6 white shirts in and around that penalty area. Reid with a right footer. Another curler, no doubt. It's a high hanging one. Kelly decides to come, and Kelly can make an easy catch there. That wasn't a great corner on that occasion by Reid. Only one player up for Oldham, and it's Parkin, and Robbie Ryan has got the ball away from him. Warner just puts his foot on it and then makes his clearance to Lucas Neal. Lucas Neal under pressure, but in fact the pressure was such that the Duxbury took it off him. Now a break on the left-hand side with Sheridan again. Got support from Rickers. Rickers ball into the area, finds Parkin. Parkin, little step over. Dyche just does enough. Lucas Neal gets in the challenge, and I think it's going to go out of play for a throw. We've been playing now 40 minutes here at the Den, Adrian, and Millwall still hold what is a fairly comfortable 2-0 lead at this stage.
Yeah, a Millwall fan there with the old wooden rattle, Dino. You'll remember them, wouldn't you? The old wooden rattles, just about before my time. But he's certainly given it some, and good on him as well, as Stephen Reid closes down Prendeville on this near touchline and concedes a throw. Yes, it's say not been one of Millwall's better 40-minute performances this season, but they have still produced some nice stuff at times. The 2 goals were nicely worked openings as Millwall have to do some defending. Here's an opportunity for Parkin. He takes it down in his chest. Nethercott snapping away at him, and then in the end Livermore strips the ball away from him. Up to Moody. Moody's first time ball off to Livers. Now Livers is after on the right hand side. Is he going to use his right foot? No, he looks to come in on his left. Looks to thread a ball for Harris, but he's just overhit that. And applause from Neil Harris towards his teammate there, but Livers perhaps should have continued his run down the right hand flank there and look to try and get across in, but perhaps I'm being a bit critical of the young man. We do know that he does favour his left foot. I think Dino uses the phrase his right is to stand on. Ball on this near side. Robbie Ryan just beaten to the ball by Prendeville. Prendeville tackle comes in from Stephen Reid. For a forward or a midfielder, he does tackle extremely fiercely and strongly, and very occasionally he might get it wrong, but on the whole he's a very strong tackler, and he's got somebody behind him who's probably the best tackler in the club, Robbie Ryan. Very rarely this time's a challenge, does Robbie. Another of the unsung heroes as he's on this near touchline. He thumps it up the line and is well marshalled by McNiven as he heads it back. Little flick on from Prendeville. It's rather scrappy down on this near touchline at the moment as the ball goes out of play for a throw-in. We're entering the last 2.5 minutes of the first half here on Lions Live, 107.3. You're at the promotion party, you're listening to the promotion party, and hopefully it will be the championship party come 5 o'clock this evening. But Millwall have 45 minutes to continue to be professional and continue to entertain the capacity crowd of 19,000 here at the Den this afternoon. Robbie Ryan again under pressure does well. Moody, who's been like a teenager in the first half, tries to get a pass off to Harris, and it so nearly worked once more. Covering was Butcher, and he clears downfield. Intercepted by Cahill. Cahill needs to unload, does so, but that's just going to go through to the goalkeeper, Gary Kelly. In his green goalkeeping top, he just rolls the ball towards the edge of the penalty area as some of the fans now look to just slip away for that early half-time cup of tea, because they will be hoping they will not be leaving the stadium for quite some time after the final whistle, when we'll be hopefully seeing the championship given to Stuart Nethercott, and everybody being able to enjoy the celebrations. But Millwall could get their third. Cross from Lucas Neal, a bit too strong. Stephen Reid ran at the back post, just couldn't quite get there. The ball, will it go out of play? Sam Parkin keeps it in play and does well to get away from Robbie Ryan. Parkin unloads into the middle of the park, over to that far side. Picked up by the player Rickers. Rickers infield once more. It's into this near touchline now, Prindleville. He has to lay it back to Garnett, who appears to have recovered from the knock that he took about 10 minutes or so ago. Still Oldham knocking it about, looking for the opening to try and probe forward, but they're doing most of their play deep inside their own half. The ball back with Butcher. He wanted to have a rest there, I think. He wanted to tie something up, but he got the ball back. Duxbury knocks it back to McNiven. McNiven is going to go long this time, looking to pick out somebody on the far side, and it was intercepted by Matt Lawrence. The ball goes out of play. We should be seeing the fourth official flash the board of added on time. We haven't yet, but the half has got better, Dino, hasn't it, as the game has gone on. A very I wouldn't say edgy or nervous start, but a quiet start from the Lions. But once they got their noses in front, and every time since then they've gone forward, they look like they could increase.
Yes, they do, and it was never going to be a pretty game, because this was all about getting the result again, and maybe Millwall can get another goal just before the break as Stephen Reid picks it up halfway inside the Oldham half. The momentum has slowed a little bit. Now it's out to the right-hand side, and Matty Lawrence has to wait for it to reach him. He comes inside, though, and finds Cahill. Cahill, again. Now, Timmy's just not really been at the races today. Gets a good challenge in that time. He's had a booking already. Ball was hit rather hard at David Livermore, and Livermore now has time just to put his foot on the ball. There is 1 minute to be added on at the end of this half, and long crossfield ball over to this near side as Moody puts his hand up and just keeps it in play. Just try and save the ball boy a little bit of work. Now, here come Oldham Athletic once more with Tony Cars just inside the centre circle. Millwall mustn't concede, certainly before the break. Robbie Ryan should intercept, and Sean Dyche will help him out, and Dyche onto his right foot, gets it away to Stephen Reid. Reid now looks up and will spot Neil Harris way forward. Harris is underneath it, he's got a hand all round his neck, and Millwall get the free kick, and Lucas Neal, I think, will take it. Lucas has had a quiet but quite effective game. Now he plays the ball through to Harris. Harris first time shot, that one not quite with the accuracy of the goal that he scored, just straight through to Kelly, rather half volleyed it straight at him, as Garnett brings it away for Oldham now. A little touch off to Corazin, who's had to come quite deep. Back to Prendeville, and Oldham will put the ball around quite well at times, but without any great effect. And there is the half-time whistle. The scoreline here at the Den, Millwall 2, Oldham Athletic 0. Before the game, there were the customary annual Player of the Year presentations. Receiving their awards this time round were Peter Sweeney, Millwall's Schoolboy Player of the Year. He was followed by Neil Harris, the leading scorer, who picked up the Junior Lions Player of the Year award. Next up was Millwall's Young Player of the Year, as nominated by manager Mark McGee. And that award deservedly went to Stephen Reid. And finally, the big one, as voted by the Millwall Supporters Club members, the official Millwall Player of the Year for 2000-2001 was Matty Lawrence. Congratulations to them all. ball's played long into the outside left channel as Oldham have got us off and running, but Robbie Ryan gets the clearance away. Sam Parkin with a good touch though, finds Tony Cars. Cars has got Rickers over on this near side. Rickers halfway inside the Millwall half, lays it back to Cars again. Cars goes long towards the edge of that Millwall penalty area. Sean Dyche wanted Warner to come. Warner just stayed at home, and so Dyche decided he would hook it over his own head and away for a throw over the far side of the field. So Millwall leading them by 2-0. Our thanks again to our sponsors, Ian Starkey and Associates. I don't suppose too many of them are at home or elsewhere listening on the radio. They'll all be here, and they really have been great supporters both of Millwall and of Fusion this season. Now here's Butcher rather over on this near side, just lays it down the line to Rickers. Rickers though is fouled there by Lucas Neal. Millwall in the opening minute or so of this half haven't got into the game again, but that was the way of it in the first half. Then gradually those nerves started to settle down, and they got the 2 goals which have proved so important in giving Millwall the lead that hopefully will be enough to ensure that they take the title tonight. Sheridan prepares to take the free kick. He's got a line of 3 maroon and navy blue shirts on the edge of the area, and that's where it's aimed, but Stuart Nethercott will take those all day, just heads it clear. Ball though is picked up once more on the edge of the Millwall box, this time by Duxbury. Duxbury lays it back, and Oldham have come out for the second period as though they mean business, probably with a flea in their ear from Andy Ritchie. Ball down the line for Cars. Cars faced by Matt Lawrence, and goes past Lawrence, which is unusual. Cross comes in, headed away by Dyche, and Cahill helps it on to Harris. Harris does well, finds Reid. Reid now can open his legs and really stride into that Oldham half. Harris is going like a train, and there is Neil Harris on the left-hand side. Moody and Reid are looking to get into the middle, but the cross from Neil Harris just hits the first defender, who was Sean Garnett, and unfortunately that sweeping breakaway from Millwall comes to nothing. Now Cahill makes an interception, but the ball is with Sheridan. Cahill body checks the former Leeds midfielder, and so a free kick is to Oldham Athletic. Millwall then with that 2-goal lead that they have, and they just really haven't got to do anything silly. Now Lucas Neal picks the ball up on the right-hand side, cuts inside himself, looks for a man to go outside, and has run into trouble there, and again commits the foul, and all just over elaborating at times at the moment. Now a chance for Oldham perhaps to break out over on the far side as Prendeville plays it long, looking for Carlo Corazin, and there's that wooden rattle again. Corazin has Parkin for support. Parkin lays it square, and Cars is it who goes down, but he's lost possession, and Lucas Neal has it. Lucas though again gets caught, and Oldham pick it up once more. Here's Sheridan. Lucas looking a bit disconsolate. Sheridan has it, and Sheridan looking for a bit of forward movement. Here's Parkin, tries one from distance, shot shanked off the outside of his right boot, and goes away for a goal kick to Millwall. So we've played about 4 minutes of the second half. It's still Millwall 2, Oldham Athletic 0. You're listening to Lions Live. Adrian alongside me, who incidentally does a lot of stats for the Millwall programme. He's just busy looking at his page. I think he might be about to tell us something that has already occurred here in a few moments' time. Stephen Reid, in the meantime, takes possession from Millwall. Livermore just tries to thread it through to Harris, and it rebounds instead to Stephen Reid. He's looking for Lucas Neal over on this near side, and Neal will pick it up. Lawrence is going like a train outside him. Now Lawrence, can he measure across? It's a low one, it's a dangerous one. It's Moody, hits the bar! Moody hits the bar, and it's away to safety. Well, it was shanked by a defender, and Paul Moody coming in at the far post, got his header on it, but it cannoned off the top of the crossbar, and eventually there was a push, I think, following that, and a free kick has been awarded Oldham's way. So out of nothing, with some 4 or 5 minutes gone in the second half, Millwall go so close to increasing their lead through Paul Moody, who of course scored the opener here this afternoon. Long clearance downfield. Stuart Nethercott, I beg your pardon, wins the header. But back it goes down that left flank, and Sean Dyche has to turn away and hook it out And it'll be brought on down on the chest by Lucas Neal. Now Lucas Neal will get Harris away. Onside, Neil Harris. Into the box he goes on his left foot. Harris with the shot. Oh! Inches past the post. And Gary Kelly in the Oldham goal berates his defenders because he was cruelly exposed there. A lovely through ball. And Neil Harris just forced an inch or two too wide and pulled his shot very well. It was probably a foot or so wide of the target. But another good break from Millwall, and they could have had another couple of goals already, Adrian.
Yes, Dino, after the slowish start, that's got to be an offside flag, which hasn't gone up against Sam Parkin. They've had two chances, Moody heading against the bar from Lawrence's cross, and then Lucas Neal's through ball for Neil Harris, which he just dragged across the face and behind for a goal kick. Parkin once more. And I have to say, he saw Stuart Nethercott, and I think he thought twice about continuing through with that challenge. And Nevers smashes the ball away for a throw-in over on the far side. Millwall, without the ball, they're having to regroup as the ball's just chipped forward from the back by Garnett onto the head of Sean Dyche. We have to say another unsung hero this season, Sean Dyche. He came third, I believe, in the voting for Player of the Year. And alongside Stuart Nethercott has been a rock at the defence, in the Millwall defence, since just after the turn of the year. And well, of course that was partly down to Joe Dolan having the unfortunate injury, but Lucas Neal has gone bombing forward and nearly got a pass off to Neil Harris then, but Harris was just beaten to the ball by Garnett once more at the back for Oldham. But Millwall are looking very sprightly and they want more goals in this second half. Livermore wins it, feeds it through to Neal, and Neal's ball is for Neil Harris, and Harris has been drawn wide. Harris looks to go inside the penalty area, plays it back for Reid. Rocket! Oh, what a goal! Stephen Reid! What a rocket from Reedy! He's absolutely buried it. Tony Warner's up at the halfway line. What a goal to end the season for the young player of the year. He picked the ball up, well, he didn't even play it. He just hit it first time, and it flew in like a rocket. You will not see a harder hit shot, although we're in the last week of the season. It was an absolute drilled shot. Gary Kelly in the Oldham goal didn't even smell it as it flew past him and into the back of the net. Reedy, he puts his hands up to the fans. And Dino, what a way to finish the season for him personally.
I'll tell you what, Adrian, there are some goal of the season contenders this year. We have seen some crackers, and that was magnificent. That's the hardest hit shot I have seen in a long time. In fact, I think they ought to go and check the netting to make sure it's still there. There's Matt Lawrence on the ball as Millwall have to defend. Ball square from Lucas Neal to Stuart Nethercott, out to Robbie Ryan on that far side. Ryan has Stephen Reid, the goal scorer, in possession now. Reid now is on the run. Still Stephen Reid is brought to ground there unnecessarily, and I think that's going to be a booking probably for Sheridan, as Stephen Reid had ghosted past two, and Sheridan, whose legs aren't quite what they used to be, made the challenge and is going to get the booking, and Millwall have a free kick over on that far side of the field. Millwall 3, Oldham Athletic 0, and you have to say that barring an act of God, Millwall are going to win the championship trophy now, and cheer up Mark McGee deafens us once more here at the Den. The question is, how many can Millwall fill their boots by? Offside flag goes up as the free kick was played in. The Oldham defenders all pushed out, and it will be a free kick to the visitors. Stephen Reid then adding that master blaster to the shot, to the goals from Moody and Harris in the first half. Now, Oldham with pride to play for, but very little else. Get the ball forward, and Corazin was almost in there. Sean Dyche gets the ball away, but there's a shot coming in from Tony Cars, and that's probably about as close as they've come. It was about a foot or two over the bar, but Millwall just for a split second seemed to go to sleep a little, and the ball was away and over the crossbar for a goal kick. As Tony Warner will take it, Adrian.
I'm just thinking, after most games, Dino, our intrepid photographer says, does he get the goals? He would have had trouble getting that one.
Yes, he's probably still making his way around after the half-time cup of tea, I should imagine. Here's Lucas Neal down the right-hand side. He's also showing great pace and strength inside of Harris. Harris takes it down on his chest inside the area. Oh, and then just dinks it. He tried to, I don't think he tried for goal there, nearly. Tried to hook it across to see if there was anybody on the far post, which there was, but the accuracy wasn't quite there. Gary Kelly able to just pull that one out of the sky. And Kelly takes his time and clears downfield. I'll tell you what, the noise here is absolutely deafening. Here's Tony Carrs on the ball for Oldham once more, trying to work himself another shooting chance, and that one's a little grubber which just apologetically bobbles away and behind for a goal kick. Millwall 3, Oldham Athletic 0, the scoreline here at the Den. We haven't had any further update from London Road Peterborough, but I don't think, Adrian, it's going to matter.
I don't think it matters one iota now, Dino. If Oldham pull 4 goals back, or even 3 perhaps, if Rotherham go on and win it, it will be it will be a change round of results of all proportions, as Stuart Nethercott's just caught there by, in fact, the referee. What's he given? He's given a throw in the other way. I thought Nevers was caught there, but the number 31 for Oldham, who is Tony Carrs. But yeah, I really don't think it's going to matter now what goes on at London Road, as once more Millwall are hunting impacts, and once more Livermore's picked up a loose ball. Reed's picked the ball out. Oh, it just got away from him, as he was probably looking to line up another shot. But just going back to that goal that Stephen Reed has, Oldham are just on the break, but Nethercott's going to tidy it up. Back to Warner, who volleys it out to Matt Lawrence, who heads it first time to Nethercott. And Nethercott's ball is intercepted by Sheridan. Appeals of handball, but there was not a handball there. Parkin, is he going to look to try and dent Millwall's defensive? Shot comes in from Corrison, blocked by Dice. Goes out to Brendeville, and he shoots just wide. And that is probably the best chance that Oldham have had in the game, as Millwall perhaps just over-elaborated a little bit at the back. But just going back to Stephen Reed, he has hit, and it'd be, if nothing else, it'd be something to see, just that one.
The old onion bag, you might say that. I certainly don't. Goal kick taken, the old onion bag. Ball out of play for a Millwall throw. And it's Robbie Ryan who will trot all the way back to take it. Millwall with a seemingly unassailable lead now. Just the party has already begun around us, that's for sure. The fans are in great voice, as they had been for most of the afternoon. But that Reed smacker has got them all on their feet. Here's Lawrence on the right-hand side, just stumbles a little bit and comes inside, and then finds Nethercott, the skipper, and that bobbled up rather nastily, and Nethercott just manages to get it away to Livermore, and Livermore out to Ryan, and Reed wants the ball all the time, Reedy, and he's now just come inside, and he's played a lovely ball out to Harris. Harris has got Matt Lawrence behind him. Here's Matty Lawrence. Lawrence with the cross to Mooney with a header from 6 yards, which goes over the crossbar, and just got underneath it. What a lovely move that was from Millwall, as Lawrence and Harris combined. Lawrence's was the cross in the end, and Mooney just got underneath it, and his header was away and over the crossbar. So the scoreline remains Millwall 3, Oldham Athletic 0. Here you're listening to Lions Live on 107.3 FM, the radio station that has brought you every kick and every goal. And there's one or two scorelines coming through from the Premiership. Leicester 2, Spurs 1, Arsenal 2, Leeds 1. As Rickers plays the ball forward. Neil, though, will collect for Millwall. Neil Harris, rather, that should have been, but Millwall have lost it just briefly. Tony Carrs out to this near side of the field, and his attempted through ball is cut out by Dave Livermore at the expense of a throw. Throw taken long and up the line, and Nethercott is just beaten to that one for a change, but behind him the ever-reliable Sean Dyche. They work so well as a defensive pairing, don't they? If one of them misses it, the other one will get it. There's no two ways about that. And Millwall's goals against record, Adrian, you'll put that in some sort of context for us, I think, during the course of the season, or rather in the next few moments. The goals against total is one of the best that the Lions have had in some considerable time.
Yes, well, Unfortunately, if we had kept a clean sheet at Wrexham and today, we would have fallen just one short of a club record, of equaling the club record. Sheridan with the free kick inside the penalty area. Warner got there but couldn't hold it, and the shot drilled wide of an open goal. It was a couple of Millwall players there on the line, but it was Prendeville, wasn't it, who had the shot which went wide of the goal, and really Oldham should have had one back there, Dino.
Scoreline for all our Charlton fans out there: Sunderland 3, Charlton 2. Sunderland, I think, getting the third goal just a few moments ago. It's now Leicester 2, Spurs 2 at Filbert Street. Goal kick for Millwall then is going to be taken by Tony Warner. That's the closest that Oldham have come. I thought it might have been Future who had that shot, but I might be wrong there. Anyway, it was wide of the target. Millwall preserved that clean sheet. And we continue with Oldham Athletic on the ball, and Tony Cars is it ball inside, almost finds its target, but between them, Livermore and Nethercott managed to sort that out. Matty Lawrence will go back to goalkeeper Tony Warner. Ball is bobbling about a bit. The ground has dried out. Flick on from Moody looking for Harris. Harris, I think, committed a foul there, but referee allows play to continue. But again, the ball bobbles this time to cause the right back, not the right back, the centre back, Scott McNiven, some problems for Oldham. Lovely tummy from Moody, but well, Sean Dyche's rampaging run comes to nothing. He now needs to get back on side because Lucas Neal has the ball through to Moody. Moody gets it down on his chest, but just can't quite control it and get his shot away. But Millwall have the throw. We're going to have a substitution for. He's going to come on for Sam Parkin, is it? No, from Carlo Corazin, I beg your pardon. So a last throw of the dice there. Last throw of the dice for Oldham Athletic. 3-0 down. Roach replaces Corazin. We've been playing, what, some 16, 17 minutes of the second half here. Millwall 3, Oldham Athletic 0 as the promotion party continues. Throw is taken. Here's Lucas Neal. He might fancy getting in the scoring action, but Neil Harris has it instead. Harris making for the byline. Tries to get a cross in. Is that going out for a corner? No, it isn't. Just about kept in and whacked clear. Robbie Ryan wins the header. David Livermore brings it down and then gets it away to Matty Lawrence. Lawrence try to get it through, and Malwell get it through to Lucas Neal. Lucas Neal in a good position. Neal! Oh, brilliant save by Kelly. And Lucas Neal was clean through there, and a great shot, and Kelly makes a super save, a really super save there from the keeper to deny Millwall a fourth goal at the expense of a corner. But Millwall are opening them up at will now at times, and Dave Livermore will take the corner on this near side of the field, wearing 26, of course, as he always does. Squad numbering makes life a little more difficult, I have to say. Here's the corner kick. There's Nethercott. Oh, header saved on the line by Kelly again, and Kelly races to the edge of his area and tries to get it away. Thinks, oh, no central defenders back there for Millwall, but he just kicks it downfield, and Matt Lawrence is able to clear it downfield. It's Aston Villa 1, Coventry 2, so Villa pull a goal back there. Coventry, of course, needing not only themselves to win, but they also need Manchester United to behave themselves and get a result against Derby. Derby were 1-0 up at half-time, but the all-important scoreline is here at the Den as far as we're concerned. Millwall leading by 3 goals to 0 as Lucas Neal comes in and will take the ball away from Rickers. Lucas Neal just holding it up, trying to do his party pieces, but probably the wrong area to do so. He's conceded a corner, and it's the second of the afternoon for Oldham Athletic. Millwall have had 5. And across to take this one is John Sheridan. Paul Moody will trot back and track the forward move there of young Ben Fucher. So Sheridan has always been a good dead ball specialist. Brentford 2, Bury 1 in the second division, a game that really doesn't mean a great deal. Corner comes in, Warner gets the punch, only though as far as Rickers. Rickers will go back out to Sheridan. Sheridan will knock it in, and there's the header from Sam Parkin inside the near post. And young Sam probably thinks he's safe enough to score a goal now and still get that shirt, doesn't he, Adrian?
I don't know. I don't know about that one, as the wind gets up and we nearly lose everything here at the press area. and got Tony Warner spots the ball up as Barnet pull a goal back against Torquay, and Torquay, of course, a draw's enough for them, so Barnet have got to find 3 more in the remaining 25 minutes or so at their ground, which has just left my memory in a moment. Moody anyway chests it off for Stephen Reid. Reid being held by Duxbury, and Reid has just shown so much confidence, and of course with the added bonus and promotion to a higher level as Oldham look to break once more with Roach, but once more Reid with a strong challenge. The point I was going to make with Millwall being elevated to the First Division, the likes of Stephen Reid, who are looking to forge a career in international football, could get a bit more of a chance, because the Republic of Ireland, as we know, are blessed with some quality players, but not the masses of players, and quite a number of First Division players have made the full squad under Mick McCarthy. And of course Stephen Reid performs in Division 1 for Millwall as he has done this season. We could see him elevated to the full lineup of Ireland. Harris with the ball inside the penalty area. He's back to goal, he twists, he turns, tries a curler. Moody! Paul Moody with a header to deflect Neil Harris's shot into the back of the net. Goal number 4 for the rampant Lions, as there's a group hug inside the penalty area by about 5 players. There's a group hug inside the own half. Nethercott and Dyche. Millwall 4, Oldham 0. Neil Harris with his back to goal. Little twist, a little turn. His curling effort might just have gone in, but I think the goalkeeper had it covered. But there was Paul Moody to head goal number 13 into the back of the net for 4-0. And, well, it's just about putting the icing on top of the cake, Dino.
Who's getting all the goals today as well, Adrian? I think that's 3 you've had. That was 2-2, is it? Well, that was a brilliant work. Yeah, 3-1, I think it is. 3-1 to Adrian. But we don't really care about that. The important thing is it's 4-0 to the Lions as Sean Dyche gets a header away. And Lucas Neal brings it down, finds Matty Lawrence. Lawrence, though, this time just shows too much of that to Tony Cars. Cars was, I think, balked there. It was a bit of obstruction. Matt Lawrence has lost his boot. But, yes, I think Harris was going for a shot there. He just curled it left-footed. But I think Moody also anticipated it probably wasn't going to get there and just got the flicked header into the back of the net. Now Rickers might try one and does. And Tony Warner made a bit of a dog's breakfast of that. Just patted it down and it was hooked away. And Stephen Reid tries to help it out to Tim Cahill. Out on the right-hand side now, Sam Parkin has it. Sam Parkin on his left foot tries a dink ball to the far post for the substitute Roach, but no chance there for him. And cheer up Mark McGee rings out loud and clear. It's Millwall 4, Oldham Athletic 0 here at the Den, as the rampant Lions are heading for the Second Division Championship, and deservedly so. People wondered, well, I have to say, I said there was only one way that Millwall were going to fail today, and that was if the nerves got the better of them. Perhaps for the first 20 minutes it looked as though that might be the case, but once they got their noses in front, there was only ever going to be one winner of this game, and it's now really a question, with perhaps another 20 minutes plus, of how many. Here's Sean Dyche on the ball on the far side, doing his party pieces now. And, well, he's dispossessed in the end, but as I said, as soon as one central defender gets in a bit of trouble, the other one is right behind him. And on that occasion, it was Stuart Nethercott getting it away. It's out of play on the far side now for a throw to Millwall. I would say that there's very, very few people around here now who are not on their feet or not singing at the top of their lungs. And there are going to be some sore heads tomorrow morning, Adrian, including probably ours.
Yeah, well, unfortunately, Dino, with the long trek back from Wrexham, we didn't have a chance to really satisfy and really enjoy the gaining promotion up in North Wales. But we certainly will be able to enjoy it tonight, as Oldham are going to throw on a striker in Mark Allott and take off defender Sean Duxbury. So there Andy Ritchie excuse me, Andy Ritchie is looking to try and gain some respect in the scoreline by sending on an extra striker and taking off a defender, Garnett, for Allett. That is Mark Allett, of course. Now Dyche has the ball in the edge of his own penalty area and clears it out of defence. Lovely sunshine here at the Den now. The sun shines on the righteous, they say. Well, it's certainly Millwall who have in total control of events now. And well, there's something I want to say, but I just don't want to just tempt too much fate at the moment. We're still 20 minutes to go, Dino. But one thing is for sure, a new club record of points accumulated in a season will be created this afternoon. 90 points was the club record. Of course, we sit on that at the moment. And, well, it would have to be a complete and utter miracle for Millwall not to end up with 93 to finish the season off.
Yeah, Matt Lawrence prepares to take a throw on this near side, and Lucas Neal was caught there by Tony Carrs as he tried to flick it through, so Millwall now get a free kick instead. Neal gingerly picks himself up, and I think he's going to he's going to take it quickly himself, and that wasn't the best idea because he puts Dave Livermore in trouble. Livermore, though, still sorts it out, and now it gets to the intended target in the first place, Tim Cahill. Cahill out to the far side and finds Reid, and Reid's been quiet since his master blaster. It's time perhaps for him to get back into the action. Forward to Moody. Moody holds off his man and gives it to Cahill. Cahill, under a bit of pressure, will no doubt knock it out. No, in fact, he knocks it back to his skipper, Nethercott. And now Lawrence has it. Lawrence just does a little shimmy and then finds Neil Harris. Ball out of play, was it? Yes, it was. As we have on our watch about 18 minutes, I would guess, of normal time. There will be a little bit of injury time to be added, no doubt. Throw up the line, and Matt Lawrence clears it. Back to Rickers it goes, though. Adrian tries to find some non-existent orange juice in the carton. Well, we found another one. That's good news, because we're losing our voice up here, I must tell you, just shouting above the din. Here's Matt Lawrence. Cuts inside. Looks for Neil Harris, but that one's knocked away. But I think Cahill will pick it up now. Cahill does well, puts his foot on the ball, gives it to Lucas Neal. Neal finds Livermore. Livermore, a little touch inside for Lawrence, but Lawrence waited for it. Wasn't the best of balls, and now Millwall could be caught away on the breakaway. But who's back there? Stuart Nethercott, but still not the danger cleared. Here's Roach. Roach tries one, blocked again by Nethercott. And now Stephen Reid will use all his muscle, all his weight, and just take it away from Roach, and will win the throw. And Stephen Reid must be a candidate for the Man of the Match award. Got to be a few up there, though, with him, I would imagine. And Matty Lawrence will take the throw, but even the defenders now are trying to show their silky skills, probably not always in the right areas. Here's the throw forward to Lucas Neal, but why can't they enjoy it? They know this game is won. They're home and hose, and now they're just going to do a few little tricks for us and perhaps knock one more goal in before the full-time whistle, who knows. Over on the far side is Prenderville, and his attempted through ball, his long ball down that right flank was out of play as Lucas Neal went across and put pressure on him. And one or two orange-jacketed stewards make their way across on that far side of the field. And we're just hoping very much that the fans continue in the same vein as they have throughout the game, and that they stay off the pitch afterwards, and we can really celebrate in style after the full-time whistle. There's Lucas Neal, brought down once more, this time by Ben Fucher, and we'll have a free kick level with the edge of the penalty area over on that far side. Stephen Reid and Lucas Neal will take it. Reid might be saying to Lucas, just knock it square for me and I'll thump another one in, but I don't think that's going to be the case. I think they're going to try and chip it towards the far post. Lucas is going to take it. Cahill might come round the back. There's a false alarm as they all go in and then come out once more, but now it will go in deep to the far post. Oh dear, that's far too deep, and that's behind for a goal kick. So Adrian, we're going to be champions.
It's a great feeling. You know, I mean, we've been starved of glory over the years. We've had the odd cup run, had the odd giant killing run as well, but it really has been an excellent run as Millwall have to do a bit of defending. The ball's open up for Allen. Allen shot, and somehow Tony Warner has managed to get enough of it and force the ball wide for a corner from substitute Mark Allett. And well, Millwall determined to keep that goal intact.
because there's another record which is not pending. It's can't break another record today in the goal-keeping department, but they certainly want to keep another clean sheet. But excellent save there from Tony Warner to deny the substitute Mark Allett as Oldham have a corner. The ball shifted into the near post. Moody back their head and clears away. Blaster comes in from 25 yards, saying yes, it's been a tremendous season. I think back at the promotion seasons that we've had in the past, when I've been sitting in the stands or standing at the Old Den watching promotions under George Graham, and I have to say that I've thoroughly enjoyed it this season, and it's been a privilege to be able to do my part in bringing it to Millwall fans, especially away from home, when not so many Millwall fans can get to games, and I've thoroughly enjoyed every minute of it, and I'm thoroughly looking forward to Millwall pitting their wits against new players and new teams next season, as Timmy Cahill looks to try and thread the ball through for Neil Harris. The clearance from Rickers deflects away and out of trouble over to the far touchline, and Prindleville will hit it forward. Dyche will look to come round the back and cover. Nice little cushioned header for Robbie Ryan. Infield for Stephen Reid. Back to Ryan once more. Ryan will curl it up the line to Paul Moody. Few people have been suggesting that Paul Moody might be the fall guy. He might be the one that misses out next season. But he's made his stake his claim already this afternoon with them 2 goals. He's going to be looking to finish his career on a high in Division 1. And he's made sure that Mark McGee will not forget Paul Moody over the summer with those 2 cracking efforts this afternoon, albeit one a tap in. Livermore, he just caught between 2 stools there, whether to chip it over for Lucas Neal or have a dig at goal himself. Millwall about to make their first substitution of the afternoon, and Mark Bircham is going to come on for Timmy Cahill, and he will go off to a standing ovation. And Mark Bircham, the little jack in the box of Millwall, will come on, give the Aussie a big hug, and come on and play his part for the last 14 minutes, Tino.
Throughout the course of the season, sometimes he's been perhaps the third man of the midfield two. He's been the one who has had to wait his turn at times, but he's played his part. He's scored 1 or 2 vital goals as well. And Stephen Reid now will pick it up from Millwall on the left-hand side. You're listening, if you haven't realised, to Lions Live, Fusion 107.3, as Robbie Ryan, who have been with us every step of the way throughout this championship season. Now, ball downfield, looking for the run there made by Tony Cars, who'll come inside, but it's cut out, and Stephen Reid picks it up once more and gives it to Ryan, who's back on his feet. Now Bircham, who's just got into the game. Reid again, all little triangle being played over there, and as Ryan tries to open it out, it's intercepted, but back behind there, as always covering, is Stuart Nethercott, and gives it to Ryan. And Millwall perhaps just need to not be too casual. I mean, the game is won, that's for sure, but they don't want to concede a goal. They want to make it, is it 6 clean sheets on the spin, I think it is. And Adrian's saying something to me, Adrian?
It'd be 9 consecutive clean sheets here, Dino, if they complete the last 13 minutes.
Now Barnet have got a second goal back against Torquay at Underhill. Barnet 2, Torquay 3. We thought Barnet were dead and buried at half-time. There must be about a quarter of an hour left there. If they get 2 more goals, that will be the comeback of all time, and there's no doubt about it. Here's Neil Harris, though. Millwall leading by 4 goals to 0. There's going to be no comeback for Oldham, I can assure you of that. Now Bircham has it and spreads it out to this near side to Lucas Neal. Lovely trick from him. Can he take it away from 2 defenders? He can't, but he's going to get help from Bircham. Now it's a slack pass there from Parkin, as Livermore tries to go through a non-existent gap. Bircham's still there, getting their tackles in, and so Sean Dyche, and Millwall have won it, and tigerishly they continue to pepper away at Oldham Athletic. Now Matt Lawrence on this near side, cuts inside and onto his left foot ball, though deflected as he just tries to play a little dink ball through. And Sheridan has it, but doesn't really have a lot of options. Forward it goes to Parkin. Parkin, though, is dispossessed by Livermore. Now Livermore can thread it out to the right-hand side. Good break on here. Lucas Neal, he's got 2 to aim for. Oh, and it's the place of goal. Kick is taken by Kelly. Little flick on by Cars, met by Sean Dyche. Of course, involved, but only peripherally, with a promotion with Bristol City the other season. he was injured for much of that time. He's been an excellent servant to the Lions this season after a horrendous injury hit campaign last year. Back it goes to from Matt Lawrence to goalkeeper Tony Warner. Warner will look up and possibly look out for Stephen Reed on that far side. That's where it goes, and Reed will rise and meet that one and flick it on to Neil Harrison. Oh, extravagant back heel, and Reed could be onto this one. He's only got Moody in the centre, but Harris is trying to get there too. Stephen Reed lays it back square. Oh, looking for Lucas Neal. What a shame, because it was superb, and it's cleared away. Christoph Kinney, I think, who's going to make a contribution as he comes on for the last 10 or 15 minutes. Christoph, again, who's played his part this season from time to time, and who's coming off. It's going to be Stephen Reed, who has certainly been outstanding throughout the course of the game. A man of the match candidate, goes off to hugs all round, and Christoph Kinney will come on, and raucous applause for Stephen Reed. And now Christoph Kinney, everybody's applauding him, his own teammates as well. And now it will be Christoph Kinney to come and finish off on the left-hand side, the little Belgian, who also gets good applause. And he's played his part, as I said, in this successful season. Oh dear, that wasn't a great free kick from Lucas Neal. Just chipped up straight through to Gary Kelly. And Adrian, with 7 or 8 minutes remaining, we've just got another scoreline from the Premiership. Leicester now 3-2 up against Tottenham. The Lions just really playing out time.
Yes, as Lucas Neal heads it forward for Harris. Harris's first-time ball, looking for Paul Moody, just intercepted, but Birchie can keep the momentum going. Harris comes inside. Harris with a shot, but it was always going to be easy for Gary Kelly, and he gathers the ball and throws it out quickly as Oldham look to get going. And Aston Villa have equalised against Coventry. Is that the final now in Gordon Strachan's coffin, which will be a sad afternoon for Mark McGee in all of this pleasure, because of course Mark McGee, very good friends with Gordon Strachan. I do believe Gordon Strachan was best man at Mark McGee's wedding a few years ago, so it will be a tinge with a touch of sadness for Mark McGee that his best mate has looks to be losing his place in the Premiership. But it might mean, if Gordon Strachan remains at Highfield Road, that the pair of them will be pitting their wits together next season in Division 1, as Moody is pulled up for a bit of a shove on an Oldham defender. And another latest score coming through as West Ham has scored a second goal against Southampton. And of course West Ham, there was an outside chance that they might have gone down, but I don't really think that was really on the cards. It was all sorts of combinations of results would have sent them down. But Oldham are in possession of the ball, and the ball goes through, and Tony Warner comes and gathers it in as Middlesbrough equalise at Bradford. And well, I'm sure that that result or the latest score, involving Coventry might well have got round the grounds to the other struggling teams at the bottom of the Premiership. Ball with Nethercott on the halfway line. He chips it forward looking for Harris, but Harris has been pretty much well marshalled in the last 5-10 minutes or so, after causing the damage already this afternoon. Dyche feigns to play it back to Tony Warner, and just does a little party peach on the ball to leave the Oldham striker Roach dazed as the ball is cleared downfield by Warner. Flick on by Moody. Harris has got there first. Kinney is away to his left. He passes it to Kinney. He's looking for the return. Kinney in the area on his right foot. Oh, it was a grubber. And Neil Harris looks at Christoph with a little bit of disdain that perhaps a little side-footed pass might have been the better ball. And as I look around the stadium, and I'm hoping that everybody's going to be staying off the pitch, I've just got a little bit of concern away to my left-hand side, where there's a few youngsters just starting to edge towards the end of the wall, and one little area over the far side where there seems to be a group. And let's hope in the main that most of them stay off the pitch, because it will spoil it for everybody this afternoon if these youngsters, and sometimes not so young, get on the pitch, because it's an afternoon. It's been a great afternoon which can only get better in the last 10-15 minutes with the awards, Dino.
Yes, I think things will go on for some considerable time, providing that people do heed those warnings and stay off the pitch at the end of the game. Here's Sheridan, little 1-2 on the edge of the box, and ball played out to the right-hand side to the substitute there, Roach, whose cross came in, and that time Stuart Nethercott rather shanked his clearance over the crossbar, and I think one or two announcements still being made, just telling people to stay off the pitch at the end of the game. And that announcement's getting good applause. They want nobody on the pitch at the end. Here is the corner coming in from Sheridan. Warner takes the catch, and Kinney wants it thrown quickly out to the left-hand side, and Millwall could be on a real breakaway here, possibly looking for a 5th goal. There's Dave Livermore coming inside, but Kinney instead spreads it out to the right-hand side, where Matty Lawrence is. There are 4 on the far post. If Lawrence could just tee it up, and it was taken away from Paul Moody's head, and suspicion of handball on the chest, in fact, as the scoreline comes through from Division 2, Reading 2, Bournemouth 3. And looking down there, we see Wigan still drawing. I think that result would send Bournemouth into the playoffs at the expense of Wigan, possibly. And that will certainly interest Lions fans. We'll get Adrian just to look at the league table and check whether that's the case. Here's Lucas Neal. Scoreline now, Aston Villa 3, Coventry 2, so Coventry were 2-0 up and now 3-2 down, and they, I'm afraid, are going to be joining Millwall in the First Division next season. Ball headed out of play. Adrian?
Yeah, totally correct, Dino. If those scores remain the same, Bournemouth will pit Wigan for the last playoff place.
Don't think you'll find too many people around these parts crying about that one either, Adrian. And Bournemouth are a lovely little club. I would like to see them do well as well. Either perhaps Bournemouth or Walsall for that playoff win down in Cardiff, maybe. There's a header from Sam Parkin, just drifts over the bar.
And of course we don't have to commentate from the chalet at Bournemouth next season. Yet.
Bournemouth's facilities, we're told, will improve. Now we're going to see how long there is left, being shown by our referee, and I reckon there's probably about 3 or 4 minutes possibly added on time, as the ball is forward and Moody takes it down and just tries to turn past McNiven, but doesn't succeed. So it's out to this near side with Sheridan. Sheridan back to Rickers. Millwall 4, Oldham Athletic 0 the scoreline, let me tell you, here at the Den. You're listening to Lions Live as the Lions will claim the championship trophy this evening. Ball threaded through, looking for Harris. Harris was just on his heels there a minute, didn't expect to get it, otherwise I think he'd have been in. Kinney takes the throw, finds Harris, and the ball is cleared away and out of play, and it's another throw to Millwall as more announcements are made. Here is Mark Bircham, plays it in now to Harris. Harris on the turn, just loses it a little bit. Bircham might try one though, does so, but that one flies over the crossbar. Announcements are coming through. I know Alex could hear what was being said, but I'm not sure what it was.
It was just another reminder, Dino, that the fans, that the one idiot that did run on in the first half was taken into custody, and arrests are likely if anybody does step onto the pitch. So let's hope, and in the main, looking round as Leicester score a 4th goal against Tottenham, in the main, most people seem to be heeding that advice, but I can guarantee that there's going to be one idiot. Let's hope it's in the minority rather than the majority, obviously, that come on and could spoil the end of the afternoon. Parkin with a little flick on. Is Alec going to get there ahead of Robbie Ryan or Christoph Kinney? He has, but Kinney is battling back. Alec's got support in Prindeville. Prindeville has come up against Kinney. Kinney gets a piece of the ball. The ball helped forward to Duxbury. Duxbury into the shade. Duxbury crosses into the area. Headed away by Lawrence. It's headed away for a corner. Millwall will want to keep a clean sheet. There's about a minute plus added on time. Can they increase that run that they're on of consecutive home games without a goal? 3 minutes of added on time. 3 minutes of additional time. The corner, the ball, what's happened to the ball? And has the ball been stolen, or
or nicked from behind the goal. It looks like it has been, as the referee encourages another ball on. But if I can just make one point, as Reading equalise against Bournemouth, that could be so bad luck for Bournemouth. What a nice afternoon this is going to be for Lucas Neal, Dino. He's the one remaining player from the playing staff that was in the squad when we were relegated at Ipswich 5 seasons ago. And he's had his problems this season, Lucas, but good on him. He's still here to reap the benefits and the enjoyment of it all.
Yes, he is. Neil Harris is laughing and gesturing up to somebody over on this near side, but a corner to be defended now. Tony Warner came and collected, and now quick throw out needed for Christophe Kinney on the far side. Can the Lions really finish the job in some style? Ball played deep, looking for Bertram, who's made a great run. Bertram takes it in his stride, really perhaps needed to get a shot away, goes down. It's a penalty! It's a penalty as Bertram goes down, and I don't think it was a penalty, to be perfectly honest, but the referee has pointed to the spot following that challenge from Sheridan, and Neil Harris has grabbed the ball already, but Moody is on a hat-trick. Moody is the cry, but of course Neil Harris wants to beat that Jamie Curitan record, doesn't he? And well,
how many goals Curitan?
No, we don't know how many goals Curitan's got, but the question is, does Neil Harris let Paul Moody take it? No, I think Neil is going to have it. Lucas Neil is going to have a word. He's been told to go away. And well, Neil, this would be, what, 28 for the season, would it? Let's hope he buries it, because otherwise Moody will be on his case. So, Neil Harris in injury time at the end of this game. Can he make it 5? Harris scores it! And Millwall wrap it up here at the Den. It's Millwall 5, Oldham Athletic 0. The Lions round the season off in style. They have landed the Second Division Championship trophy, which will be presented in a matter of minutes after the final whistle. Neil Harris 2, Paul Moody 2, Stephen Reid with maybe the pick of the bunch. This has been a magnificent party. This has been a magnificent afternoon, and that is the final whistle. And the Lions are there. The Lions are promoted. The Lions are the champions, and we will be seeing some presentations, no doubt, very, very shortly, providing that people stay off the pitch, which they largely are. It's been a tremendous afternoon. It's been a privilege to be here, and well, we look forward to partying long into the night.
And so after the dressing room antics and sing-song, the moment that everybody had been waiting for, as the players retook the field of play to claim their medals, and at long last, the Second Division Championship trophy. Heroes all, the crowd to a man, to a woman, to a child had stayed on for this magic moment after a long, hard and ultimately successful season. With everyone on the victors' podium, it only remained for the skipper, Stuart Nethercott, to claim the prize of that Second Division trophy. As the players posed for the obligatory photographs, the celebrations were destined to go on long into the night around South London. Of course, there had to be the lap of honour firstly, and as we see the players walk around parading that trophy, we'll be hearing from some of the heroes of the season.
Well, Neil, marvellous feeling, isn't it? The championship was what everybody wanted, and well, to do it in such style, everybody must be absolutely over the moon.
Words can't describe it. It's one of the best feelings I've had in my life. I thought last week was fantastic, but to do it here in front of 20,000 Durham fans is, God, speechless. It's all that's it. I'm not really lost for words, but what a day! What a day!
Well, Moots, you've been here before, but I don't suppose it gets any less special to win promotion and to cap it off with a superb performance in the Championship.
No, everything's gone right for us today. I mean, it's a couple of years now, so I've forgotten what it's like since the last one, the Championship, but no, brilliant. Everything went right for us today. Got a couple of goals myself, 5-0, fans were great. Can ask for no more.
Well, Matty, earlier in the week you were telling us that the only thing you'd ever won was as an under-9. You now need a trophy cabinet. They're coming thick and fast.
Yeah, actually I moved house yesterday, so I'm thinking about buying a trophy cabinet and putting it in the spare room. But yeah, it's just been a tremendous week. Obviously winning Sporters Player of the Year, getting in the PFA side, and now winning the Championship is just capped a memorable week off, really. I'll remember this for a few weeks, I think, and then I'll concentrate on next season. Hopefully we can do well next season as well.
The well-deserved rest coming up now, but I guess when you've recharged the batteries, everybody will be so excited and looking forward to the First Division.
Yeah, we start a new chapter now, and I think we've got to enjoy this for a couple of weeks and then have a really good break, and then come back focused on not just surviving in the First Division, but having a push to compete in the First Division, because this club potentially is big enough and good enough with the following to deserve to be in amongst the Blackburns and the Fulhams and teams like that. So there's no reason why we can't make that our goal at the start of the season.